So if this graduated cylinder is accurate to within 0.6 milliliters, again, that's pretty good, and that's going to let us start using this glassware to measure volumes accurately. So, how do we do that? Well, the one thing we've got to keep in mind, as with all graduated instruments, anything that's got an analog scale, you, as the observer, have to take responsibility for estimating past the last tick mark. So if the bottom of the meniscus falls between two tick marks, you have to estimate how far between those two tick marks it falls. So let's take a quick look at a measurement. I'm going to pour this is again food coloring and water. I went with yellow this time. I'm going to pour some yellow food coloring in here. And we'll let those bubbles settle out of it a little bit. And now, what's the reading that we're going to get on that graduated cylinder? Now, to get an accurate reading, we've got to get really close so that we can see right where everything is. And if we look at this, it's a little wavy and wobbly, but that looks like 79.2 milliliters. It's just a little under 80 milliliters. So 79.2 milliliters, probably reasonably accurate to deliver that much out of this container, plus or minus 0.6. And just because I've got other colors around, let's add, and here you can see I've got my Erlenmeyer flask pretty full. I can still swirl it pretty vigorously and I'm not splashing liquid all over the place. If I filled a beaker up that far, I'd have a hard time swirling it at all. So those are graduated cylinders, and that's really the majority of the glassware that you'll find in your lab drawers. So your lab drawer glassware is good for getting approximate amounts of reagents that you want to transport. They're good for, again, getting approximate amounts that you want to transport, and if you want to swirl or cap, you can use an Erlenmeyer flask. Or for measuring volumes of liquids to, in the case of this graduated cylinder, within about 0.6 milliliters. Those are all really helpful pieces of equipment, but there are going to be a couple others that we're going to work with. The first one that we're going to use fairly regularly is a burette, and here I've got a couple burettes. There's another video posted that talks about burettes a little bit more. Burettes are good for measuring out approximate volumes to an exact decimal multiple times. They're also good when you're not sure how much total volume you want to add, but you want to know exactly how much you've added. So those are burettes. Again, that's another video. And the other class of glassware that we're going to be using on a pretty regular basis is volumetric glassware. And volumetric glassware is volumetric flasks and volumetric pipettes. We're going to put those in another video. So for now, make sure that when you're picking out the glassware that you want to use, you match the glassware to the task at hand. And don't forget to watch the video on volumetric glassware coming up.